Maths paper 1 here, and this is 2012 past paper. With that being said, let us begin. All right, question 1. Question 1 says, what is minus 3 square plus minus 2 square? Anytime you square a negative number, we know we get positive, and so minus 3 square is 9, plus minus 2 square. When you square minus 2, you get positive 4, and 9 plus 4 is 13. So question 1, easy, soft. Question 2. What number when added to 1 and 1 over 3 gives 2? So it is saying which number can we add to 1 over 3 such that it is going to equal 2? So 1 and 1 over 3 plus some number x is equal to 2. And so in order to evaluate x, we have to subtract 1 and 1 over 3 from both sides to get x is 2 minus 1 and 1 over 3. 2 minus 1 and 1 over 3 is 2 over 3. Easy question, soft. Question 3. Question 3 says, Anne and Betty shared a sum of money in a 2-to-3 ratio. Anne received $120. What is Betty's share? Now, it is telling us that Anne and Betty shared us in a ratio 2-to-3. So that means that Anne get 2/5 of the money. 2-to-3, 2 plus 3 is 5, and so Anne received 2/5 of the money. So 2/5 of x is equal to 120, where x is the unknown, which is the total amount of money shared. So solving for x, we would cross multiply and get 2x is equal to 5 times 120, 5 times 120, 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 2 is 10, carry 1, so 5 times 120 is 600, and so that means x equals 300. If x is equal to 300, and that's the total amount of money, that means that if Anne gets 120, then Betty's share is 300 minus 120. So Betty get 300 minus 120, and that is equal to 180. So option C, Betty's share is 180. Easy question, soft. Question 4. Question 4 says, what is 11.1 divided by 0.01? To do these types of questions, it's best sometimes to ignore the decimal places. All right, that's the best way to do these sort of questions. So what we can do is bring over the decimal place 1 to the right, bring over 1 to the right, and then bring over 1 more to the right and bring over 1 more to the right. And then what you're going to do is evaluate what is 1,110 divided by 1. 1,110 divided by 1 is 1,110. So just bring the decimal places 2 places over to the right, or in other words, ignore the decimal place. Easy question. Solved. Question 5. A test was marked out of 80 and a boy got 60%. How many did he get on the test? Or what did he score? So if he got 60% on the test, we know that he got x out of 80, and x out of 80 when multiplied by 100 in percentage, that should be equal to 60. All right, so this is equal to 60, so let's evaluate x. This 0 cancels this 0. 2 into 8 goes 4 times. 2 into 10 goes 5 times. So what we're really saying is 5x is equal to, you can cross multiply the 4. 4 times 60 is 240. So 5x equal 240. You then divide both sides by 5. 200. 5 cancels the 5 here. 240 divided by 5 is 48. That's the answer. Easy. Soft. Question 6. If 30% of a number is 45, what is the number? 30% of a number, 30% is 30 over 100. So 30 over 100 of a number times x is equal to 45. We need to evaluate what x is. So this 0 cancels this 0. We cross multiply the 10 to get 3x is equal to 45 times 10. 45 times 10 is 450. We then divide both sides by 3, and 450 divided by 3 is 150. So question 6 is 150. Easy question. Soft. So far, so good. Question 7. Question 7 says, what is the value of the digit of 6 in the number 48.061? Now, as you can see, 0.06, the 6 right here is in the 100th column. So it's going to be 6 over 100, which is option A. Nice. All right. Question 8. Question 8 says the highest common factor of 12, 15, and 60 is. Highest common factor means what is a factor of 12, a factor of 15, and a factor of 60 all in common, the highest common factor. No, it has to be 3, because look at this. 60 is not a common factor of all of these. 12 is not a factor of these, and so the only one that's a factor of all of them is 3. That's the highest common factor. Nice and easy. Soft. Question 9. Using the distributive property, simplify the statement 49 times 17 plus 49 times 3. So now if we have 49 times 17, you can write it as 4019 in bracket 17 plus 49 in bracket 3. So if we factor out 49, what we're left back with inside this bracket is 17 plus 3. But 17 plus 3 is what? That is 20. So we get 49 times 20. 49 times 20 is option A. Easy question. Too easy. Soft. Question 10. Question 10 says the next term in the sequence 1, 6, 13, 22, 33 is, as you notice, 1 to 6, that's an increase in 5. 5 to 13 is an increase in 7. 13 to 22 increased by 9. 22 to 33 increased by 11. So next we're going to increase by 13. So increasing by 13, the next term is 46. Easy question. Too easy. Soft. Option C. Question 11. Given that P is equal to 2, 3, 5, 6, and Q is 2, 3, 4, then what is P union Q? P union Q means all the elements of both P and Q. So P union Q would be, to write it as a list, that would be 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, which of these sets includes 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6? Let's examine. Now, it's not in A because 1 shouldn't be in the options. Now, X is such that X is between 1 and 7. Between 1 and 7 is from 2 to 6. So it has to be option B. Easy question. Nice. Let's go to question 12. Question 12 says, in the Venn diagram, which aspects represent the shaded region? The shaded region represents everywhere outside of P. Everywhere outside of P is known as P complement. That's option A. Question 13. In a group of 40 students, 28 students play tennis and 22 play chess. What is the least number of students who play both tennis and chess? So if you can't picture what they're saying, sometimes it's good to draw a Venn diagram. So let's picture a Venn diagram right here. They told us that 40 students is in the classroom, and we know that how many play chess? We know that 22 play chess. So let's see represent chess, and we know that 28 play tennis. So you draw your intersection and you put T for tennis. Let's call the intersection X, right? If you call the intersection X right here, then guess what? Then those that play chess only would be 28 minus X, or 22 rather. 22 minus X is chess. And we know that those that play tennis only is 28 minus X. Yes, man, that's it. And so all we're going to do is solve this equation. We know that the total is 40. So you just need to write down 22 minus x plus 28 minus x equal 40. And you solve that equation for x. 22 plus 28, that is 22 and 28, that's 50. Minus x plus x minus x is minus x equal 40. And so x equal 10. X is 10. So that means 10 persons play both chess and tennis. Now that person is a genius. 10 persons play both chess and tennis. Those persons are geniuses. Nice. Question 14. It says if P is equal to factors of 6 and Q is equal to factors of 4, then what is the shaded region? Now, first and foremost, what are factors of 6? Factors of 6 are 1, 2, 3, and 6. Factors of 6 are numbers that are divisible, or that can be divided into 6 without leaving a remainder. Those are the factors. Factors of 4 are what? 1, 2, and 4. Now it says what would be the shaded region? What is in common with these two? It's just 1 and 2. See there, 1 and 2 is in common. So that's option B. Too easy. Soft. Moving right along. Question 15. Mrs. Jones' taxable income is $18,400. She pays tax at a rate of 20%. That is crazy. The amount of income tax she pays is, no, it tells us right here that she pays a tax rate of 20%, which is way too high, but we just need to find 20% of 18,400. So let's work that out. So 20 over 100 multiplied by 18,400. So when we work this out, what we're going to get is this 0 cancels this 0. This 0 cancels this 0. So it works out to be 20 times 184. So 184 multiplied by 20. All right, let's do that. 20 times 4 is 80. So put a 0 and carry up the 8. 20 times 8 is 160. 160 plus 8 is 168. So put down the 8 and we bring up our 16. 20 times 1 is 20 plus 16 is 36. So Mrs. Jones paid $3,680 for her income tax. 20% of her pay. That is crazy. She pays 20% tax. That's too much. We feel sorry for Mrs. Jones. It says now the value of a plot of land is $18,000. Land is charged at a rate of $0.7 per 100 value. What is the total amount of tax that is paid for the land? So first thing you need to do is work out what is $1,800 divided by 100. You divide this by bills, and what we're going to get is this 0 cancels this, This cancels this, so we get 180. You're then going to multiply 180 times 0.7. Multiply 180 times 0.7. Now, I don't like to work in decimal, so I rewrite it as a fraction. 180 multiplied by 7 over 10. That's 0.7. So this 0 cancels this 0. Then all I need to work out is 18 times 7. So let me work out 18 times 7 right here. 7 times 8 is 56. Then we bring up the 5. 7 times 1 is 7. Plus 5 is 12. So that's $126 of tax. Easy question. Soft. This question says, at the end of any year, a car is worth 5% less than what it is worth at the beginning of the year. If a certain car was worth 10,000 at the start of 2014, what is its value at the end of 2014? And so the car loses 5% of its value. And so we need to deduce what is 5% of 10,000 going to be, and then subtract it from 10,000 to find the value of the car at the end of the year. Or all you need to do is work out what is 95% of 10,000. So 95% is 95 over 100, and you multiply it by 10,000. So as you can see, this 0 cancels this 0 cancels this. 95 times 100 is 9,500. And so the car is worth $9,500 at the end of the year. Easy question. Question 18. A man bought a mobile phone for $800 and sold it for $1,000. What a wicked man. What was his profit as a percentage of the cost price? Now he bought the phone for $800. So if he sold it for $1,000, that means he made $200 in profit. So his profit is $200 because he sold it for $1,000. So if you take that $200 and divide it by the initial cost price, which was $800, and multiply it by 100, what you're going to get is this 0 cancels this 0 cancels this. 2 into itself goes 1 time, 2 into 8 goes 4 times. 1 over 4 times 100, well, we know that is 25. And so he made 25% profit on that phone, which is crazy. He bought it for 800 and sold it for 1,000. He's a smart man. Easy question. So it says Susan bought a calculator for $120. She had to pay 10% tax on the price. How much change would she receive from $140? So remember, she bought a calculator for $120 and she's going to pay 10% tax. So they're going to put in the 10% on that 120. All right. So what she's actually going to pay is 110% of 120. So we work out what is 110% multiplied by 120. And so this 0 cancels here, this 0 cancels this. 11 times 12 is 132. So Susan is going to spend $132. But she gave the cashier $140. So she's going to get back $8 change. All right, so that's that question. Solved. Question 20. The simple interest on a loan of $6,000 for 3 years is $900. What was the rate of interest per annum? So this question says the simple interest on a loan is $6,000. Whoa, the simple interest on a loan of $6,000 for 3 years was $900. So we want to find the rate. Now simple interest, 900, is equal to the principal of 6,000 times the rate of 3 times the time. All right, so let's call the rate R. And so that means the rate is going to be equal to 6,000 times 3, well, that is 18,000. So the rate is going to be equal to 900 over 18,000. But then this is going to give you the rate as what? This will give you the rate in decimal, but we want the rate as a percentage. And so you multiply it by 100. So this 0 cancels this 0 cancels this 0 cancels this. 10 times 9 is 90. 90 over 18 is 5. So that is 5%. That is the rate charged per annum. Nice. It says a dress which costs $180 is sold at 10% discount. What is the amount of discount? The amount of discount is 10% coming off the 180. So 10% off of 180 is 10 out of 100. So 10 out of 100 multiplied by 180. So let's evaluate this real quick. This 0 cancels this 0. This 0 cancels this 0. 1 times 18 is 18. That is $18. Nice and easy, soft. Question 22. If $7,000 is borrowed at a rate of 5% per annum for 3 years, what is the simple interest? So simple interest again is principal times rate times time. So we just need to work out what is the principal. The principal is 7,000 multiplied by the rate. The rate is 5%. We can write 5% as 5 over 100 multiplied by the time of 3 years. This 0 cancels this 0. This 0 cancels this 0. 70 times 5 is 350, and then 350 times 3 is 1,050. That is option D. Easy question. So, next question. Expand minus 2 times x minus 4. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8. And so we get negative 2x plus 8. This is negative 2x plus 8. Option A. Easy question. So, question 24. It says, if an integer that satisfies the inequality 4 is less than 2x but less than or equal to 6, then which solution satisfies for x? All you're going to do is divide both sides by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So that's only option A. Easy question. Too easy. Nice. Question 25. Item 25 refers to the information below which shows the cost of a pen and a box. It says the total cost of 3 pen and 2 box is, so if you're going to buy 3 pen and 1 pen costs X dollars, then that means to buy 3 pen will cost 3X. If you buy 1 box and it costs Y dollars, then to buy 2 boxes 2Y. So if you're going to buy 3 pen and 2 box, that's 3X plus 2y, which is clearly option D. D as in dog. Nice and easy. Question 26. It says 3x squared times 2x cubed. So when you're multiplying these, you have to multiply the numbers. 3 times 2 is 6. Then to multiply x squared times x cubed, when the bases are the same, we add the powers. X squared times x cubed is x to the 5th, so you get 6x to the 5th. Easy question, so. Question 27. It says p is equal to m squared over 2 minus m. When m is negative 3, what is p? So p will be equal to, put in negative 3, you're going to get negative 3 and you square it. So it's negative 3 squared divided by 2 minus m. 2 minus, but m is minus 3. So it's 2 minus 3. So minus and minus give you plus. And so what you get is minus 3 squared is 9. So you get 9 divided by 2 minus 3 is 5. So you get 9 over 5, which is option C. Question 28. Question 28 says, if A star B is B over A minus 1, then what is 7 star 28? So A star B is B over A minus 1. And so B over A, in this case, 7 is A and B is 28. So it's 28 over 7 minus 1. 28 over 7 is 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. So the final option is 3. It's option C. Easy question. Soft. Question 29. It says 5x minus 26 is equal to x plus 50. Then what is the value of x? So to find the value of x, we need to bring x on one side so we can subtract x on both sides to get 4x. Then we can add 26 to both sides to get 76. We then divide both sides by 4 to get x is 76 divided by 4. 76 divided by 4 is 19, the beautiful number of 19. Nice and easy, soft. That's 19. Easy question, soft. Question 30. It says John has marbles, X marbles, and Max has twice as many. So John have X marbles and Max have twice as many. So let's write down what John have. John have X. So call J for John. John have X and Max have 2X. Then it says Max give John 5 marbles. So if Max give John 5 marbles, then Max now have 2x minus 5 and John now have x plus 5. How many marbles does Max now have? Max now just have 2x minus 5. Easy question, soft. So we're halfway there now, and we're now going to question 31. Question 31. When 8 is subtracted from a certain number, so let's call that number y. So we have y minus 8. They said that the result is then multiplied by 3. And so 3 times y minus 8, they tell us the result is 21. What is the original number y? If you divide both sides by 3, you get y minus 8 is equal to 7. And then you add 7 to both sides, or add 8 to both sides rather, you will get y equal to 15. And so y equal 15 is option D. Easy question, soft. It says, find the volume of a cube with edge 10 centimeter. Now, volume of a cube is length cube. So we need to work out what is 10 cube. 10 cube is 10 times 10 times 10. Now 10 times 10 is 100. And so then you have 100 times 10. 100 times 10 is 1,000. So it's 1,000 centimeters cube. That is so fun. Nice. Question 33. Question 33 says, a car travels 80 kilometers in 2.5 hours. What is its speed in terms of kilometers per hour? Now, first thing we need to know that is speed is equal to distance over time. That's how we find speed. So the distance is 80 kilometers divided by the speed of 2.5. So 80 divided by 2.5. Now, many persons might say, sir, but you're dividing a fraction by a fraction. So what is the problem? Rewrite it as 80 divided by 2.5 is 5 over 2. Yep, 2.5 is 5 over 2. And so what you get is 80. Instead of dividing by 5 over 2, we reciprocate it and multiply it by 2 over 5. 80 times 2 is 160. And so we find 160 divided by 5. 160 divided by 5 is 32. Easy question, soft, too easy. Question 34. Given that 1 millimeter is 1/1000 meters. Express 2,500 in meters. All you have to do is divide this by 1,000 and you'll get 2.5. So 2,500 millimeter is 2.5 meters. Nice and easy, soft. Question 35. It says that AOB is a sector of a circle such that the angle AOB is 60 degrees and OB is R units long. The area of AOB is, now, notice what it said, it give you the sector angle. Now, area of a sector is what? Area of a sector is theta over 360, so it's going to be 60 minus 360 over times pi r squared. So 60 over 360 is 1/6. We're nice, man. There's 1/6. 1/6 pi r squared. 35 is A. Easy question. Too easy. Soft. Question 36. It says the distance around the edge of a circular pond is 88 meters. The radius in meters is, so the distance around is perimeter. Perimeter is 88. Now, how do we find perimeter? Perimeter is equal to 2 times pi times r. And so if 88 is equal to 2 pi r, how do you find r? You divide both sides by 2 pi, and so r would be equal to 88 over 2 pi. That's how you find the length of the radius of this circular pond, which is option D. Easy question, soft. The next question says, a man leaves his home at 22:15. 22:15 is 10:15 in the night. So this man left his house at 10:15 in the night. Write it down. We're not used to army time. We're used to the standard clock. 22:15 is 10:15 in the night. And it says he reaches his destination at 4 o'clock. Now 4 o'clock means 4 a.m. in the morning. So he is traveling from 10:15 in the night to 4 o'clock. All right. It says, how many hours did his journey last? From 10:15 to 12 p.m. in the night or 12 a.m., that would be 1 hour and 45 minutes. And then from 12 to 4 is another 4 hours. And so 4, this is 4 hours right here. And this right here is 1 3/4 hours. And so what he travels is 1 3/4 plus 4 is 5 3/4. So to travel from 10:15 in the night to 4 a.m. in the morning, that means his plane ride was 5 hours and 45 minutes. 5 3/4. Easy question. Question 38. The area of a triangle is 30 centimeters cubed. Anytime they give you a triangle, just draw one, just picture it. So they give you some triangle and the area is 30 centimeter cubed and the base is 10. It says, what is the height? So call the height h. But what do we know about triangle area? So the 30 is equal to half base times height. So it's a half the base of 10 times the height of h. So 30 is equal to a half 10 times h. If you multiply through by 2, you get 60 is equal to 10h. And then you divide both sides by 10. And so when you divide both sides by 10, 60 over 10 is 6. 60 over 10 is 6. And so that means the height is 6 centimeter. The height of the triangle is 6 centimeter. Question 39. Question 39 says the perimeter of a square is 48 centimeters. What is the area? If the perimeter is 48, what is the area? First thing, it's always good to draw a square. So if the perimeter is 48 and it's a square, then that means all the 4 sides are 12. This is 12, 12, 12, and 12. That's the only way when you add up the distance, you get 48. So the area is length square, and so 12 square will give you the area, and 12 square is 144. Too easy. Nice. Question 40. The diagram not drawn to scale shows a cylinder of radius 3 centimeter and a height of 8 centimeter. If the volume, it says, what is the volume? And so remember, how do we find volume? The volume of a cylinder is given by pi r square h. Pi r square h. That's how we find volume. And so if this is how we find volume, we know that the radius is 3 and the height is 8. And so the volume is going to be equal to pi times 3 square multiplied by h, where h is 8. 3 square is 9. 9 times 8 is 72. And so the volume is 72 pi. Volume is 72 pi. Nice and easy. Soft. That is option C. Too easy. Question 41. It says, what was the modal age for this figure that they give us? So let's read the question. It says, item 41 refers to a histogram which shows the number of children surveyed at 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 who took part in a survey. What was the modal age? Now, as I clearly can see right here, we have 4 ages, pitney that are 5, pitney that are 6, pitney that are 7, pitney that is 8. Modal mean which one of the bar them is the longest, which one of the most kids. The 7-year-olds right here, because there's 5 7-year-old. So that's the modal age. The most frequent is 7-year-old. It says how many children took part in the survey. As you can see, there's 3 kids in the age of 4. There's 4 kids at the age of 5. There's 2 kids at the age of 6. There's 5 kids at the age of 7. And there's only 1 child at the age of 8. 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. 9 plus 5 is 14. 14 plus 1 is 15. So there are 15 students in this survey. So that's 15, which is option B. Easy question. Question 43. Jade's score on her 9 spelling tests were 577454766. Therefore, her median score on these 9 tests is her median score. Now, in order to find the median, you need to rearrange the number in order. So write it from 4, 4, then 5, then 5, then 6, then 6, then 7, then 7, then 7. That's how you rearrange it. All right, nice and easy, soft. And so if this is how we rearrange it, all right, now you can find the median. The median is the number in the dead center. So let's go to the center. Can't be these 4, can't be these 4. The dead center is this number. So the median is 6. Easy question, soft. Question 44. If the mean of 4 numbers 4 plus 8 plus x and 12 is 10, then what is x? So now you have 4 plus 8 plus x plus 12. And when you divide that by 4, it tells you that what? The mean is 10. So now 4 plus 8 plus 12 is 12 and 8 is 20, 20 and 4 is 24. And so that means 24 plus x is equal to 10 times 4, and 10 times 4 is 40. 24 plus what number gives you 40? That is 16. 24 plus 16 is 40. So x is 60. Too easy. Nice. Question 45. The boundaries of the class interval of 10 to 14. Now the boundaries starts from 0.5 before the class given, the group that is given, it's going to be 9.5 because 9.6 can be rounded to 10, 9.7 can be rounded to 10. And so the boundary starts from 9.5 and it goes up to 14.5, which is option C. Easy question. Soft. Question 46. The diagram shows a straight line. AB cuts the x-axis at AB cuts the x-axis at B, and B as coordinates. The x-coordinate is 3 and the y-coordinate is 0. So that is 3, 0, which is option A. Easy question. Soft. All right. Question 47. It says the relationship best described in the mapping diagram is, right here we can see this is our domain D and this is our range R. Now, as I always say, think of domain as persons, right? And the range as persons. Now look, this person goes to this one, and this, look at this. So this person right here, so this guy right here, and this guy right here, they're talking to this girl right here. So that's what? Many to one, which is not right. It should be 1 to 1 to have inverse, but we're not talking about inverse. But you can see this person right here, this person right here is talking to the same girl right here. So that's what? Many to one. Many to one. So many to one, that's right here. Many to one, that's option B. That's the best way to describe that relationship. Now, next one. It says now, if f of x is 2x squared minus 1, what is f of minus 3? So replace x with minus 3. You're going to get 2 times minus 3 squared minus 1. Minus 3 squared is 9. 9 times 2 is 18. 18 minus 1 is 17. So 18 minus 1 is 17. So that is option C. Nice and easy. Soft. Easy question. Question 49. The maximum point of y where y is 4x minus x squared. The maximum point is the highest point on the graph that occurs when x is 2 and y is 4. That's the maximum point, which is option D. Nice and easy. Soft. Question 40. 9. It says the values of x where 4x minus x squared intersects the line y equals 0. The line y equals 0 is this line. Let me draw the line y equals 0. This is the line y equals 0, and they're asking, where does that curve intersect the line? The curve intersects the line at this point and this point. What are those 2 points? Oh, my apologies. Let me take away that. This is the line y equals 0, which is right here and right here. That's 0 and 4. That's option A. Nice. Question 51. It says, which of the following best describes a function? X go from 2 to 5, that's an increase by 3. 5 to 8, that's an increase by 3. 8 to 11, that's an increase by 3. 11 to 14, that's an increase by 3. So it's going to be f of x is x plus 3. Because when x is 2 plus 3, you get the 5. So x plus 3 is f of x. Easy question, too easy. Question 52. If the sum of the interior angles of a polygon is 4 right angles, then the polygon is 4 right angles is 4 times 90. 4 times 90 is 360. If it is 360, it has to be a quadrilateral. That's the only way it can have 360 for the sum of the interior. Easy question. Question 53. In the diagram above, AB and CD are parallel lines. Which of the following best describes the relationship between X and Y? Since these are parallel lines, then this is a transversal line, and so angle X is equal to angle Y by Z angles. Easy question, soft. Question 54. In the triangle above, the value of x is, what's the value of x? 30 plus 30 is 60, and you need angle x. So angle x plus 60 is 180, and so 180 minus 60 will give you angle x. So that is 120. Angle x is 120. Easy question, solved. Question 55. In the diagram above, triangle OPQ is mapped onto triangle O prime, P prime, Q prime. What type of transformation has taken place? Clearly, as you can see, this is not reflection, this is rotation. You can see that it turns. Once it turns by some angle, some degree, then it is clearly rotation. Easy question, solved. Question 56. It says, the diagrams give two similar triangles. Find the length of MO in centimeters. MO is the hypotenuse over here. Now, there are two ways we can do it, but the easy way to do it is using similar triangle rules, where you can say that AB over AC, so 6 over 7 is equal to 3 over MO. And so you need to just transpose to make MO the subject, and so 6 times MO is equal to 3 times 7, which is, I think that's 21. And so you divide both sides by 6, and so MO is 21 over 6. Now what is 21 over 6? 3 into 21, 7 times, 3 into 6, 2 times, so that's 7 over 2. 7 over 2 is 3.5. Easy question, solved. Question 57. In the diagram above, not drawn to scale, angle BAC is 30 degrees, angle AB is 40. What's the length of BC? Sokatoa, easy question, man. Look at this, Sokatoa. So this is the opposite, and you have the hypotenuse and this angle. Once you have opposite, Sokatoa, so opposite over hypotenuse is sine. So that means that the sine of 30 is equal to the opposite, which is BC, over the hypotenuse of 40. And so you would transpose to make BC the subject. And so BC is equal to 40 sine 30. 40 times the sine of 30, that is angle BC. Easy question, and that looks like option A. Easy, soft. Question 58. It says in the diagram, the translation by which AB is mapped onto A prime, B prime is, this is just a translation vector. Now, if you notice, we went from 2 to 4, so that's an increase in 2. And then to go from 5 to 6 is an increase in 1. And so it's 2, 1 is a translation vector. Easy question, soft. Nice. All right. Okay. And that wraps up this paper. I hope you had just as much fun as I did. Make sure to subscribe to stay tuned for more. And I wish you all the best preparing for your exam. Easy, soft.